Not to mention color-wise as well. There was definitely a certain historical military aesthetic from like World War One, World War Two that they were kind of going for with Zeon.
You think so?
Kind of reminiscent of a certain European country.
Don't forget that I'm an idiot and I miss these things, and you have to tell me.
Nazis. Freaking Nazis.
Zeon was
Okay.
Zeon was obviously supposed to be Nazi Germany.
Now that you mention it, yeah, I totally get it. Yeah.
Can I do the thing?
Yes, do the snippy snap, please.
Really? Okay.
That was a really good snap.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
that was a good snap.
It's been a while since we've had a good one.
Fuck you.
Wow. You're a piece of shit.
I was complimenting you, buddy.
Yeah, well, I love Mikey.
I
Yeah,
also love
thank
Mikey,
you.
and that's why I make fun of him.
Yeah, always.
We also love all of you.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody,
Yeah, welcome back
to Anime Shmanime.
Shmanime.
Yep.
Manime.
What up?
We're doing it again, guys.
Yeah.
We're duping you all.
This time, I'm not duped, though. I knew in advance this time.
I did give you the advanced warning this time.
Yeah.
Just because I want this to go well. This is an important one.
Yeah, this is a very important one. But it's weird for me though, because it's like I love Gundam. I absolutely love Gundam.
Yeah, we're covering
It's
Gundam,
true.
by the way, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Mobile Suit Gundam. But yeah, Mikey loves Gundam.
I love Gundam.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time with the OG.
Really?
I have a bit of a hard time with the OG just because I came up with like the 90s Gundam. So going back to like the 70s and 80s.
Was this 70s?
This was 70.
1979.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
No,
barely
78.
70s.
78?
Yeah, because it was like 2 years before.
He's senpai today, so you
Yeah, I'm
should know.
senpai today.
Yeah.
I'm moderately prepared, so we'll see.
That's okay. That's what Wikipedia is for.
Yeah.
Yeah, all my information's from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Also, I'm dyslexic, so I'm going to be reading off of it poorly again.
Yeah, you do your best, and we love you for it.
We love you, man.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay, so Gundam.
Mobile Suit Gundam. So we're covering the movie trilogy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is the original anime series that started it all. 40 plus episodes. We thought might be a little daunting
Thank
as an
you.
intro for this gentleman here.
It's a lot.
Whereas 3 movies at 2 hours a pop ish
Was manageable.
Was much more digestible.
Absolutely.
Not to mention, I think as far as movies that are really just compilations of like TV series, it happens here and there. This is a pretty good one as far as feeling like their own thing.
Sure.
Not just feeling like a bunch of chopped up anime episodes squished together. This, I feel like, really feels like its own, endeavor. And
Sure.
that's why they were released theatrically and why they were, loved so heavily by the Japanese people when they came out.
Totally.
Well, that's the thing. Like the pacing in the movies is way better. Like, could you imagine if I made you sit through, or we made you sit through the original series where they had like the fucking long Gundam dick because the animation is so bad.
Sorry, what?
It's a meme, man.
I would have watched that. That sounds interesting.
40 plus episodes, man.
Yeah, there's parts in the original where it's like the animation is so bad and they don't get certain proportions right. So like they have like super long arms.
But hold on,
and,
but
like,
why do they have a dick?
It's just
It's
that weird
the
cock
crotch piece.
Yeah.
Oh, the front's piece.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
The front of the groin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. So Gundam is Star Wars. That's
Yeah.
my main takeaway right off the bat. Star Wars meets Power Rangers.
Listen, story-wise, but also culturally.
Yeah.
This is Japan's Star Wars.
Totally.
The way us whiteys love Star Wars here,
I do love Star Wars and am white.
so do I.
Yeah.
And this is culturally, yes, but you're right. I also narratively, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Totally.
But also, you think also Power Rangers?
Well, the Zords. They're flying around in Zords.
Okay, interesting you bring that up.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Why?
Yeah. Because so what existed before this
Yeah.
was essentially the animated version of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
It was like the Sentai series kind of thing where
Okay.
it was, You know,
You had Mazinger, you had Grandizer, you had
super robots.
I'm thinking
robots.
also like Voltron. Was that before this
Exactly.
as well
Or
too?
the-
no,
these-
Voltron was way after this.
Okay.
But it's the same idea where it's a super robot where it's like
Yeah.
it's almost sentient. It almost can think for itself. It almost becomes like a character in itself, the giant
Yeah.
robot
Yeah,
thing,
true,
right?
true,
Whereas
true.
like it's less of just a vehicle that
Yeah.
requires an actual pilot.
Totally.
You know, they just, you know, Voltron, Power Rangers, they do their morphing thing, but you never
Yeah.
see them actually working controls. They're just screaming from the cockpit while
It's
the
true.
Zord
They're sitting at
does
what
all
you
the
assume is a
fighting.
controlled board, but you're right. They're really just yelling.
There's no focus on it, right?
you're
This
right,
was
yeah.
like the focus was actually on these are
The controlling
these are
of it.
military
Yeah.
pieces of equipment.
Totally. And also like Amuro is also a mechanic. Like he's not just doesn't just get a magical robot, hop in it and like control it. He like knows about it and learns about it and soups it up.
His dad designed the thing that he gets in.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Amro's a bitch.
Wow. I think Mikey should be sitting where I'm sitting right now.
Listen. Let me level set as I do normally.
Can I
I'll do
also
it,
just
I'll do it
like,
from here.
can I also just like sneak in right before you do that and say that I can't agree?
Hold on, because guess what? I'm gonna sneak in with y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in the hot tub with you because, yeah, dude.
He is a bitch, right?
Especially in this movie trilogy, and I mean, we got more in store for you guys. Don't
Yeah.
worry, we'll get to when Amuro's not a little bitch.
Yeah.
But in this movie trilogy, totally a little bitch.
Yeah.
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 He can't handle anything. It seems.
Yeah.
He every time you turn around, he's crying about something else.
Yeah.
He's crying in his bed.
Yeah.
He's getting slapped by Bright.
He's ignoring his
Rightfully
girlfriend
so.
for like several other women, one after another.
Dude.
Yeah.
Man.
Rude.
Dude.
He's a rude little bitch.
Frabo, man.
Where does she go, man? Anyways,
Yeah, that didn't age well either, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's getting slapped.
Yeah.
Women taking care of kids.
okay, we had a couple of good segues of some. Sorry, what did you say?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, a couple of good segues there. The first one is things that don't age well because people should know that Jay and I watched the first movie of this together, and
We like Netflix watch partied it.
we
yeah.
laughed a lot.
Yes.
And there's like points in this show, it's like an accidental comedy. Like some of the moments age so poorly that they're fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
again, the slaps you hit on, right? One thing that kept making me laugh is every time someone new gets in a Gundam, they like trip over themselves and fall on their face. That never gets old.
It's Bambi on ice.
That never gets old.
Yeah, every time.
That
But
shit was
also,
funny.
like, I appreciate that they do that.
It made it a little more real. It was
Right?
funny, but also smart.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So another thing we mentioned is Amuro being a bitch and how he can't handle anything. It should be like, for the benefit of the doubt, like he did get thrown into a war as a child. So I do kind of get why he maybe can't handle some shit and why he's like having a hard time. Mikey
I
doesn't
agree.
give a
Oh,
shit.
wait. Did we give the spoiler alert?
People know by now. We spoil things. He's
spoiling
Jay,
it all.
I'm Jordy. He's Mikey. We spoil shit.
It's all getting spoiled.
Yeah.
It's all getting spoiled.
Yeah. Nice shirt, by the way, Mikey.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Oh, wait. Hey.
Looking good over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
You guys both look fantastic. I
Thanks,
gotta
buddy.
say.
Yeah, appreciate
I
it.
mean, the design is just next level.
Who made these shirts?
I don't
Who
know.
made these shirts?
Somebody who should be showing in like the MoMA or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
Mikey made these shirts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay made them.
Jay made them.
hey, get your
Hey.
hanger in
You
anyone.
can get
gear.
one and others.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to it.
Let's
Sorry.
get back on topic. Yeah.
So war's going on, and he gets thrown into it.
And listen, I totally agree that like
Yeah.
one thing we kind of overlook because this is animated in such a fun, colorful, you know, eccentric style.
Yeah.
You do forget sometimes the reality of the situation going on.
You
And
do.
I think if this was live action, you'd have a lot more sympathy for Amuro. But because it's so fun and colorful and happy looking,
Yeah.
you almost don't feel for him as much. You're almost kind of like, dude, it's a cartoon. Come on,
There's
get
a
over
couple
it.
moments,
Let's fucking go.
and
you know?
they do a good job of reminding you it's war because there's some brutal fucking scenes. The first fucking scene you see, dude, there's like a field of dead bodies, and one of them is Frost's mom.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Crying over the
And
corpse.
people are losing their fucking shit. So like, there's moments where they pull you into those emotions, but not as much for Amuro. I'd say like he has a few of those, but it's more like on a wider scale when they show you that, right? He
Yeah.
just kind of is just a little bitch.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know what? Like, and we'll get into some facts, you know, in a second. But like,
Yeah.
the creator of this series, part of his intention was to show the horrors of war.
Totally.
It was to show people the gritty, you know, scary side of things. That
Yeah.
it's not all just guts and glory.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's,
totally.
It's the other kind of guts.
And Star Wars as a counterpart doesn't really go deep into that as much.
No.
like the like trauma of war. It doesn't go too hard into that. It is also a movie, like the word war is in the name of the title of those movies, and it doesn't do quite as good a job of expressing what war is like. Do you know
More
what I
like
mean?
it's more Star Adventures
Yeah, Star Adventures
than Star
yeah.
Wars.
Totally, 100%.
Because when I think war,
Yeah.
when I think war movies,
Yeah.
war cinema, war media,
Yeah.
there's always that grit and there's always
Yeah.
that realism. You know what I
Totally.
mean? I think back to some of my favorite movies like Full Metal Jacket,
Totally.
and like
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now, Platoon. Like
Yeah.
it has
The
that
greats,
grit,
man.
you know,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
like. And this was the first time that personally I encountered something that had giant robots in it, where they were talking about the giant robot the same way they talked about the tank
Yeah.
that they were rolling off the ship.
Totally.
It wasn't getting like these holy gloves, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It was just like, no,
The
that's a tool
lightsaber.
that we're using.
The Millennium Falcon,
right?
Yeah,
It's like
it's like no, it's well. You described to me what Gundam means, right?
okay.
Should we hop into that?
So Gundam was supposed to originally be Gun Boy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they were like, that doesn't work. We got to rework that because it's not really a boy. You know what I mean? And
Well,
like,
he
we want
is,
this to seem a
but
little
I
bit
get what
more
you're saying.
menacing,
Yeah.
right? So then they decided that it was actually going to become a combination of the words gun and freedom. So it was
Nice.
Gundam
Nice.
after. So it was Gun Boy,
Yeah.
then Gundam
Yeah.
for freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, Tomino, the guy who created it, was just like, nah, that doesn't really encompass what we're
Yeah.
trying to say here.
Yeah.
This is something that as a solid structure holds back a force of enemies
Like
like
a
a dam
Yeah, goddamn.
holding back a body of water
Yeah.
by itself, the lone soldier on the battlefield. Therefore, Gundam. Gundam.
So, anyways, bringing it back around, the way they describe them, like you said, as a tool, as a mechanism of war, not these like mythical things, right?
Yes, but
Yeah.
you're right. As like the last bastion on the defense line
Totally.
that can take on the
Yeah.
whole fleet. Like it's exciting, but it's grounded.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing about this movie is we're talking about like war, is the way they go into military tactics and political posturing. And again, if we're going to hold this movie up against Star Wars dips their toes into that. This movie dives in. There's a lot of that in this movie.
Well, think about like the board scenes where they're talking about war strategy in Star Wars. You know, it's more so getting everybody fired up like a pep rally,
Yeah.
or it's about who Vader's going to choke out
Totally.
at the table.
Yeah.
This is like we're actually getting the whole strategy.
Yeah, and then you're going to see it unfold.
Beat for beat.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
they do it.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say is there was like a lot of that, like maybe too much, I'd say, and like that's a good like segue into
Yeah.
like my biggest issue with this is it's like there's a lot of everything. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of suits and ships and upgrades and a lot of military. And I know that it's 40 episodes boiled down, and that's probably the cause of why that's like that. But it did make it hard to keep up at times. Like Mikey said, pacing, like the pacing is good. Sometimes I felt like it was moving too fast for me.
Sure.
Yeah, but if we made you watch the original, the pacing would have been awful. Not to mention,
I don't doubt it.
like, there's so many weird, like, cheeky, like, titchy, tacky things that
That's so
happen
true.
in,
Yeah.
like,
The
70s, 80s. Yeah, like,
I'm happy to not have had those. I can tell you that much. I'm happy to not have had to deal with that. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that was kind of a symptom of like the art form also being kind of new, right?
Sure.
Where they were like they were having fun and they were trying to see how broad their appeal could be, and they
Sure.
were trying to feel that out. Part of why this didn't do well and that first anime series got canceled.
Yeah.
Okay, it didn't see the end of its run. They
Yeah.
had to come up to a conclusion, right? That initial run got canceled because people couldn't figure out, is this for kids
Yeah.
or is this for grown ass men?
Anime is weird like that. We've
Because
got into
visually,
that a lot in the past.
visually,
right?
it almost looks like it's for kids. Well, it does fully look like it's for
Yeah.
kids, but thematically, not at all
Yeah.
kid friendly.
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
But then there's like the kids on the crew
Yeah.
doing kid fun shit. Like it's like the kids segment.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you
I
let your
mean-
kid watch for that 30 seconds and then tell them to go back to their room or something.
There's
Yeah, I guess
three
so,
like
yeah.
5-year-olds who fucking like collect bombs.
Yeah. yeah, exactly.
And like want to drive a car.
It's crazy.
Just dumb
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
But I will say though, the one thing that you do miss out on watching the movie instead of the series is a lot of character development.
I can see
agree.
that because again, because there were so many characters, a lot of them to me felt like I didn't care about them. I didn't know enough about them to care. Whereas again, if they had drawn it out, I probably would have had some more insight into all those characters. It would have made a little bit more sense.
It's one of those shows that it rewards you for the level of investment that you're going to give it, right?
Sure.
If you go into this wanting to watch the full 40-something episodes, obsessed with the concept and idea, ready to go, it's going to give you so much. You're going to get so much out of the series, right? But if you're going in trying to glean something enjoyable out of it, stick to the lean version, in my opinion.
Sure.
I think.
I agree. I think it was the better move. I just think that and I know this is controversial too, but they could have cut a battle out or something. Do you know what I mean? And left, give me. But you see what I mean? There was a lot of battles. Some of them, we literally went from a battle. A narrator filled me in on the in-between parts, and then we went to another battle. I was like, just take one of those out and give me some backstory on one of these characters that I don't give a shit about.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Something like that would have made it feel a little bit more richer, as opposed to a little more of let's get going, let's go. You know what I mean?
There's definitely a few stretches of each of them where I'm just I caught myself being wow, we've been watching Space Battle for a while now.
My notes on this were fucking weird because I didn't even write we're in another Space Battle right now, and all of a sudden the next note would be something I'm like, when did that happen? Jumping around, it felt like. Yeah.
That might be a little symptom of the format of it being a condensed.
Yeah. Well, what would be awesome is now that you've seen this is to watch Gundam Origin.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This isn't the origin?
Well, so they came out with Gundam Origin a couple of years ago, and it's really just Char's backstory.
Okay.
And him getting into becoming Char as Noble, and and also the animation's recent.
Okay, which is a plus for you, big time.
Yeah,
because you get introed to Char, he's already on the ship. He's already leading his fleet and
he's
stuff.
He's got his funny little helmet.
So the origin tells you basically how did Char go from little boy to that.
Yeah,
it is amazing.
I'd be interested.
Fills in a lot of gaps, and like we said, the animation being a step up. The animation's beautiful in Origin.
Yeah, it's kind of like how we know about Darth Vader, and then many years later, we learn about how Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader.
Dude, yes,
right.
So that's the other thing.
But those movies are shit.
Wow.
We'll do a flip the script on them one day, and you guys can roast the shit out of me because I don't hate them.
So
Jar Jar, really?
I don't love Jar Jar.
The other thing with Gundam to keep in mind, right, is there's different timelines through all the different shows that have happened over the last 40-something years, right?
Sure.
We've got you started on the Universal Century timeline.
Okay.
This is the holy timeline. This is the main timeline.
The canon, I guess you'd say. Is it all canon?
It's all canon, but it's separate universes. They don't touch. They don't.
Yeah.
They are similar in the fact that the Gundams have maybe a similar face.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
different designs that are very you can tell what a Gundam looks like by seeing it. They usually have the horns. They usually have the mouthpiece,
the two vents,
the front piece,
the front piece.
So the thing with the UC timeline is they're very Star Wars like in the sense that there's a lot of jumping around.
Sure.
You're going to be all over the place, and like I was explaining to you, in a prior conversation, one of the things we're going to get you on soon, one of my favorites is an OVA that's kind of sandwiched in between everything that's going on.
Yeah. Cool.
There's stuff that's happening concurrently. With what you just watched with this. Yeah. But it didn't actually release in our world. Until 20, 30 years later.
I'm okay with that kind of stuff.
Cool.
That stuff's
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah. It's fun because then it allows you to hop back into a part a nostalgic spot in a story. You know what I mean? And get some.
But it builds out a more realized world.
Totally.
Man. So now having personally, and I know Mikey's probably right there with me, having basically seen everything Universal Century at this point.
Yeah.
It's one of the most fleshed out sci-fi worlds that I've ever seen.
Interesting.
The level of detail that goes into every piece of equipment, every weapon, every mobile suit, like you said, how many characters there are.
So many characters. I'm going to forget all of their names. And I don't have fun nicknames
and
for this time.
And there are backstories for all of them in various different, shows and movies that have come out that have callbacks to other ones. You see characters, all grown up in later ones and stuff. There's cool callbacks like that. It's really well fleshed out.
Cool. Sick, man.
Yeah.
What's cool too is Gundam's actually based a lot of their science in real science.
Okay.
So I think that was another really cool
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of facts.
Yeah.
let's stop
What
dragging
is-
our feet on this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we just automatically just got going there.
We're just shooting the shit. Like we're just shooting the shit about it, which is cool.
I want to get some facts out of the way
Yeah.
that maybe we won't get caught up on.
I'm into.
Senpai for the day, Mikey Senpai.
Hi.
Can you give
What's
us a little breakdown, a little history, or a little factoids on this bad boy?
That's right. Senpai's Corner.
Did you forget?
No, I didn't.
You're ready? You're ready? Okay.
I got it.
I didn't mean
got
to put
it.
you on the
All right.
spot, but I figured you got it.
Yeah, it's all good. Another quick fact before I go into like
Do
the
it.
history.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Japanese military actually uses the word Gundam as a code name for stuff.
That's amazing.
Fuck yeah,
That's fucking hilarious.
I'd be so stoked.
I mean, they have fucking Gundam statues everywhere in Japan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. They just recently built that
What they haven't
huge
told
one.
you is that they're actually functional Gundams.
Yeah.
That's the running joke online.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like, everybody thinks they're making these fun tourist
Yeah.
attractions.
Look at the statue we made.
They're just stocking up the military.
One day it just launches into space. You're
Yeah.
like, where'd that thing fucking go?
Yeah. So, anyways, Mobile Suit Gundam, known in Japan as Kido Senshi Gundam, also known as First Gundam, Gundam 0079, or simply Gundam 79, is an anime television series produced and animated by Nippon Sunrise. Shout out to Nippon because they have lots of cool stuff. Created and directed by Yoshiyuki Tomino.
Yep.
Yep. It premiered in Japan on Nagoya Broadcasting Network and is affiliated ANN station on April 7, 1979, and lasted until January 26, 1980, spanning 43 episodes. It was the first Gundam series, which has subsequently been adapted into numerous sequels and spin-offs, set in a futuristic calendar year, Universal Century, UC 0079. So just so that you guys know, 0079 is the actual year
Okay.
of the Universal Century. So that's when it was like established.
Okay.
So when we talk about, we'll eventually get to Gundam Unicorn.
Yeah.
This beginning of that movie starts in like 0001. So the
So
first,
it's way at the beginning.
yeah, right at
Okay.
the beginning of Universal Century.
Okay.
So, anyways, the plot focuses on the war between the Principality of Zeon and the Earth Federation, with the latter unveiling a new giant robot known as RX-78-2 Gundam, piloted by the teenage civilian mechanic and our bitch boy.
Little bitch boy.
Our fake Luke Skywalker.
Fake Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Who might I add? I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Also, bitch.
Yeah, Amuro Ray. But well, technically, if Char's would be more Luke Skywalker than Amuro.
Char's Darth Vader.
No, but if we're talking about like, because he has a sister, right?
Yeah.
So
They're taking elements from all over the place.
Anyways, we're digressing.
Yeah.
So in 1981, the series was re-edited for theatrical release and split into 3 films. So that's the one that we did.
Okay.
The characters were designed by Yasuhiko and Kunio Okawara. Was responsible for the mechanical designs, including the I don't know how to say that word.
Got it.
Giant robot, the RX-78-2. I'm also sorry if I butcher any of these names. The first film was released on February 22nd, 1981. Tomino himself also wrote a trilogy of novels that retell the events of the series. 2 manga adaptations of the series have also been written by 2 manga artists.
Is it weird that when you said he wrote novels, I got real excited? I was like, I would smash those novels.
There's a lot of
There
Gundam
is a
novels.
lot.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about Gundam too, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of manga,
Yeah.
a lot of light novels that like aren't animated. So
I know we're digressing, but like a novel seems like the right media for this kind of story
Yes.
to me.
Because it's war shit, dude. It's
Yeah.
like people that like Tom Clancy
Yeah.
books
Yeah.
would love this shit.
Yeah.
It's just in space.
Sorry to cut you off, Mikey. Do you have more there?
yeah, okay. So I just got a little bit more. So
Okay.
so this is back to where he got the inspiration from, because you guys are saying like it's Star Wars and stuff. But the mobile suits of the show were inspired by powered armor from
I
the
thought you were going to say Power Rangers. I got real.
Shut the fuck up!
I was like, I knew it.
Sorry, dude.
Powered armor from the novel Starship Troopers from 1959.
You told me that when we talked.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a classic sci-fi novel that was
Yeah.
written in response to nuclear technology basically being canned by most of the world, and how they were going to respond to that.
Yeah.
And what technology was going to take over, and power armor.
Yeah.
Piloted power armor was one of the ideas.
Yeah. So mobile suits were conceptualized as human-like robots, which would not only appeal to children. Yoshiyuki Tomino's original plot for the anime was considerably much more grim, with Amuro dying halfway through the series.
I would have preferred that.
Yeah, actually, I kind of would.
Okay. He gets better over time. Come
he
on.
does, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Like-
I love me a lead character death, is all I'm saying.
Like, I mean, like think of like if Bright had to like take over the Gundam, that would have been crazy.
Some old man.
Yeah. Well, he's technically not even an old man. He's like new to the army.
He's in the
That's
Gundam
true.
and he's just out there slapping Zakus instead of using the weapons.
Yeah. We don't need these anymore. You're just tossing weapons, right? Get a hold of yourself.
Yeah, and the crew of the White Base having to ally with Char, who is given a red Gundam, but finally having to battle him after he takes control of the Principality of Zeon. The original concept found expression in a series of novels written by Tomino soon after the show's conclusion, and eliminates the storyline weave themselves into Zeta Gundam and Char's counterattack, which we will cover.
Not Zeta.
Just Char's.
Gotcha.
Not Zeta or double Zeta. I mean, we might double back eventually if Jordy becomes like a mega fan, but
Oh no! If we're gonna do one after this, it's got to be either Unicorn or like one of the more
the 90s OVAs, man.
yeah, or
Like 8th MS or something.
Yeah,
Or Stardust.
but
Stardust?
even then, like Gundam Seed was great.
But are we going to take him out of the
Wing.
Universal
Gundam
Century?
Wing is a thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Another different timeline.
yeah,
Guys,
yeah, different timeline.
we got him. We're getting him on the UC timeline. We'll make him fall in love with that. He'll become an elitist like me,
Yeah.
and then he'll start hating on all the other ones.
I only yelled that because like some distant part of my memory remembered hearing that as a child or something,
Listen,
or knowing about
So,
it.
so here, this is what I'll say about Gundam Wing, though. Like,
Yeah.
I know it gets a lot of hate, but that was the Gundam that got me into Gundam.
It was what
Yeah.
most people got, and people watching this, you guys probably remember Gundam Wing more than anything. Late night TV, just on
Yeah.
randomly. You'd watch it, you'd have no fucking idea what was going on, but
Yeah.
it looked crazy.
That's the origin
right?
story for how you guys have said you found so much of this shit already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's how I found Gundam. Was I got into it through Gundam Wing as well, I will admit.
Yeah.
But it was the first one released in North America on Toonami.
Yeah.
But then they also released this anime around the same time as well, and nobody gave a shit about this one.
Yeah.
People just liked the better animation quality in Wing.
Sure.
They liked the
Designs better.
the boy band cast as well, because all the protagonists in Gundam Wing are basically like a K-pop boy band. Like that's what they look like.
Yeah.
Honest to God, look it
Yeah.
up.
Nice.
People know what I'm talking about. But the original one, yeah, it didn't do well really any time that it was released.
Yeah.
But it was also created also to sell toys, right? Like,
Of course. As much of this stuff also
Gunpla.
is, yeah.
yeah, that's gonna
That's
handicap
a huge
it.
part of this community.
It's got its
Gundam.
own name.
Yeah, it's Gundam plastic, so Gunpla.
Yeah.
And like Jay and I both build a lot of Gunpla.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I didn't bring any down with me to put on the table, but
You're dropping the ball.
No.
fuck you.
You're dropping the Haru.
No, well, no, we got.
Oh, you missed my funny joke.
We got the
Banshee.
Banshee
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
Little Banshee.
Well,
There you go. You brought one down.
But you know what? Like that was another thing, right? That like the original toys that they released in relation to the show didn't do well. They did
Yeah.
terribly because they were just out of the package, blister pack, type of toys ready to play, like
Yeah.
action figures.
I
People
think
hated that.
I may have had one.
Maybe.
It was tall,
yeah.
and it was actually it was kind of a transformer-y kind of
but
thing.
they were trash and people didn't like them generally. Then all of a sudden, and you could even see it in the marketing. I watched some like old school commercials from when they were first putting like
Old school toy commercials were the best.
putting out like Gunpla model kits for the first time, and they were like they were trying to make it so mature and so
Yeah.
badass and so
Yeah.
like tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you actually start getting into it, and if anybody else out there is a model builder, like Mikey and I, we know it can get really crazy, and this isn't for children. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So even a lot of the toys and the multimedia that has been
the line is
successful
blurred,
and
is
spun
what you're
off of
saying.
this is also for adults, right?
Yeah.
The line's blurred across the board on this one.
Yeah, I get
know?
that vibe.
Yeah.
Did we finish your Wikipedia reading there, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
there,
it.
is there more?
Okay, cool. This is going to be a rambly one, I think, but that's okay. I'm with it.
Listen, it's so huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's such a massive,
Yeah.
massive thing that it's very difficult to cover. And I'm
Yeah.
sure, hopefully we got some bleeding hearts out there that are understanding our plight and trying to attempt to
Yeah.
do this, because we're doing our best,
Totally.
trying to make it palatable to somebody who just is
Yeah.
is just doing what we're telling him to do.
I am a good boy. I'm a good boy. So I'm almost even going to suggest, like, why don't we just skip our little segments about world and art? Because I feel like we've covered a lot of the world and the art conversations. Unless there's something glaring that's been missed that you want to mention.
Well, one thing I wanted to mention to you is, how did you feel about the whole idea of space colonies and all that? And
That's
like,
the only point that we haven't touched on yet, and that's specific to this, as
and
opposed to
even
the whole world.
look,
Maybe.
maybe, and
Yeah.
the
What about the
construction,
music? We
aesthetic.
still haven't done the music.
We'll
yet.
get to music because
Holy fuck, that music!
okay, so we'll get there. The colonies are cool looking. They're still cylindrical, right?
Yeah.
And they're terraformed on the inside.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is I kept forgetting I was in one until someone would get thrown through the inner wall out into
Or
space.
something would explode, and all of a sudden everything would get sucked out into space.
So that was kind of cool because they really did a good job. I mean, let's say for a second it's real life. I feel like I'm on Earth when I'm in there. Like, you know what I mean? All the scenes when we're in those the colonies felt like Earth scenes.
Have you seen Interstellar?
Oh yeah.
Literally, the colony that they end up in at the end.
Yeah.
It's literally shaped exactly like
Interesting.
Side 6, Side 7, like the Gundam colonies.
Yeah. Is
There's
that
so
is
much
that a
shit.
nod? You think?
It
Has to be.
Okay.
Has to be.
Shweebs will let us know.
There's so much shit that like Gundam has influenced.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most of North American stuff has been highly influenced by Japanese writing and anime. Like,
for sure. Nothing's original here.
no.
That said, like we're talking about Star Wars and
Yeah.
whatnot. This is also super derivative of a lot of Western stuff, right? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of back and forth, right?
Yeah.
There's the whole their dormitories, for example, being in that vertical cylinder wheel shape
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
That's 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I missed that. Actually, I feel like you mentioned it when we watched it.
Literally, like 2001: Space Odyssey. He's
Yeah.
jogging.
And
he's running around in the circle.
That. Yeah.
That's how their dorm setup is in this, and that
can
that's
we,
a nod to 2001. So
Can
they
we
were
spoiler
taking
alert
it.
something new? Like not related to this? We're
What?
talking Star Wars? You guys seen Book of Boba Fett yet?
No,
No.
Can I spoil it
shut,
for you? Or do you
shut
care?
your mouth.
Okay, never mind.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
We spoil shit.
Yeah,
sorry.
about Gundam.
Okay.
Don't
Sorry,
spoil
what
shit that we haven't-
podcast is this?
I don't know anymore. All right.
I have to,
won't
you know
spoil
what?
it
You
for
know what I have to send you? I need to send you to the Gundam Academy.
I spoiled shit. Oh, wait, what is that?
So in 2008, Japan made plans for Gundam Academy. It's an academic institution which focused heavily on the kinds of technology Gundam uses.
That's cool as fuck.
How could that be real?
Robotics
Yeah.
and
All
things
right.
like that.
Is
yeah.
it related to Gundams or is it just named Gundam in honor of what Gundam inspires?
Both?
Like, are you actually studying Gundams and how they could be made in real
Gundam-esque
life?
technology, like
Yeah. Okay.
robotics.
Okay.
Robotics,
maybe like
yeah.
advanced military
Yeah,
technology,
yeah.
things like that. Like,
All right.
Arc reactors.
Nope. I don't think that's the case.
Well, how else are you going to power a massive suit like that?
Lightsabers.
Right now, they're making robots that power themselves with dead bodies.
What?
Lightsabers.
Lightsabers. They have that. I saw a guy use one on the internet.
Well, you mean the flame one?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't actually like
Again?
no.
All right. Anyways, to get back to it, the colonies were cool.
The Bakas were cool.
The Bakas were Baka. The colonies were very cool.
I also thought that was a big one, and
Yeah.
having seen that replicated and copied through so many different forms of science fiction media
Yeah.
through the years, when I did go back and watch this for the first time and saw that
Yeah.
here, and I was like, whoa, 1978, 79, they were like, this had in my, I don't know anything that would predate that as
Yeah.
far as that aesthetic and that design. For
Someone
them.
in a novel wrote it somewhere, but even still,
Visually though, to visualize
Yeah.
it like that, this had to be right up there, man.
you're fucking smart, man. I miss those things.
I love that shit.
I'll see
dude.
some shit and like someone will point it out to me and they're like, oh yeah, it's identical, and I just missed it completely. Like I never catch that shit.
You know what? You have a lot of those moments where you're just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot because I'm a fucking idiot, dude.
No, it's okay. We love you for it. We love to remind you.
Let's get quick into art. There's a couple things. One thing that is worth mentioning is how color plays a role. Because color was so useful for me because they color code the armies, the teams.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? The bad guys are all green except for the red guy.
Yeah.
And the good guys are all kind of white and a little more colorful in blends of colors more so.
Sure.
But at first, all the bad guys were green. I was like, okay, I got it. I know
They
who I'm
are all
rooting
painted
for.
like tanks.
Yeah, it's like a football game. You root for your color. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Not to mention color wise as well. There was definitely a certain historical military aesthetic from like World War One, World War Two that they were kind of going for with Xeon.
You think so?
Kind of reminiscent of a certain European country.
Don't forget that I'm an idiot and I miss these things and you have to tell me.
Nazis. Freaking Nazis.
Xeon was
Okay.
Xeon was obviously supposed to be Nazi Germany.
Now that you mention it, yeah, I totally get it. Yeah.
The Zaku itself, like the green ones that
Yeah.
they were mostly piloted, they were supposed to like look like German World War II helmets.
Okay.
That was
They
the
say-
general shape they were supposed to have.
Sig Zian.
Yeah. I
Oh
remember
no,
that.
he know that. He
I
knew
know,
that 'cause
I pointed that out.
the first time that they start chanting Sig Zion,
Yeah.
he looked at me through the webcam like,
Jay, I can always tell when Jay saw me catch something because I'll be watching and we're not talking, and my head goes like this.
and I'll look over and I'll just be like,
Right?
did you like that?
Yeah.
It's fucking good.
Do you like
man.
how they're Nazis?
Yeah, I did not like that.
I know it's super heavy-handed. I
It's
gotta
clever,
say,
but it is heavy-handed. Like it's,
Yeah.
I get what they're going for.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, like this coming out in the 70s,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of that.
It's much more poignant at that
Yeah.
time. Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's have this music conversation, Mikey. Because what the fuck, dude? First of all, it starts off and it's like symphony music with like dance beats underneath it.
Yeah.
Right?
some weird blends going on.
And then later on, all the music is like weird 80s rock ballads, but not like hair metal ballads.
No.
It's like low key, like almost country ballads.
No. This is the music.
Yeah.
Every single fucking battle
Yeah.
is a Japanese Elton John singing.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, dude.
That's all it was.
Japanese Elton
But the way he's singing too, it sounded like it should be like a breakup scene in a buddy comedy. Like two friends have a falling out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the music of the montage of them like not being together.
looking out the window at the rain.
It's that music all the
Meanwhile,
time.
people are getting fucking blown to
Totally.
shreds.
Yeah. Weird decisions. I don't get it.
But isn't there kind of that relationship between Amuro and Char though, where they're kind of like the buddies looking out the window longingly?
There is, but
the
only
raindrops?
there is, but not at the time when it was made. There is
I
now.
know, I'm just joking.
That's one of those elements of accidental comedy.
It is.
You
It
see what I'm
totally
saying?
is.
Yeah.
But I also like we also have to take into consideration like back then they didn't have like metal music like we do now or anything that's nearly as aggressive, right? To kind of show that was probably the most aggressive thing.
Black Sabbath was just a thing at the time.
Yeah.
right?
No, dude. In the 80s, they had hair metal in the 80s.
This
In
is
Japan.
78, dude.
Yeah, 78.
70s?
Yeah, 78, early 80s in Japan,
They had to have some more moody shit than that.
but also for TV, for anime.
Yeah.
Right? They're trying to like
I don't know, dude. Here's the other thing. A lot of the other score was like symphony stuff, like make a symphony sound intense. Classical music has more emotions than buddy comedy breakup.
That would probably be the Western influence, right?
Maybe. Okay. Either way.
I think they were trying to get their feet under them. You know what I mean? Keep
Yeah.
in mind, like this was kind of the first of its kind. They didn't have a blueprint for this
Yeah.
other than Star Wars.
Yeah. And I guess we're just pointing out all the parts where they fumbled over their own.
Yeah, not to mention like so even though there was stuff before this that was like all about mech, Gundam was the one that made mech popular.
Yeah. With
Right.
this soundtrack. Still it managed to do
yeah,
it.
Yeah, like sure Grandizer and Mazinger like they're great.
Yeah.
But this is I still consider this the godfather of mech.
Sure. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It literally started the real robot trend and broke the super robot trend where robots stopped thinking for themselves. and
Yeah,
were
yeah.
piloted for the first. Like it started that.
Yeah.
Everything that's come after, even like people always go like, "Well, wasn't Robotech sooner?" No, Robotech copied this. You know what I mean? Macross copied this.
Yeah.
Like, sorry everybody, hate to break it to you, but Gundam fucking did it first.
Yeah.
Like,
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You know what you can do first? You can go on our YouTube page
Oh.
And you can click a like or subscribe or leave us a comment. And,
Did he steal it from you?
He totally stole it from me.
Did you have one in mind?
You robbed,
never has one in mind.
You robbed me blind, you fucker. Dude.
You're lagging, dude. I'm sitting here like,
When's he gonna plug us?
and so I had to get you on that one. That being said, please do. We really appreciate it. If you want to throw us a like, a
an
subscribe,
asshole.
a comment. Hey, buddy.
Listen, please
Tell
like,
me how much of an
subscribe.
asshole I am if that's what you're feeling.
Yeah.
But
Please-
we love to
please-
hear from you.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Share us, guys. People don't realize how far that goes nowadays. Like, comment, like it all really depends on that. It helps us so much keep doing what we're doing. So
100%.
I don't mean to get all serious about it, but please, that helps us so much.
Yeah.
I'm so sour right now that was stolen from me.
It's okay, dude. It's okay. You want to? I hate to break it to you. Yours aren't that good a lot of the time.
That's what makes them good.
Yeah, I don't plan it. I just do it.
I know.
That's why I love it. That's why I love it.
I'll stop. I won't steal it from you for a while.
Okay.
Okay, you got it. Okay, let's get into characters. We pretty much talked everything I think there is to say about Amuro. You know what I mean? I don't know.
yeah.
He's bad with women. The effects of war are like very visible on him as time goes on, right?
Yeah.
He goes through this like progression of like panic at first, and then he has these like couple of manic moments where literally you're like, what the fuck is going on with him, man?
He's all over the place. He's
all
like,
over the place,
He's
yeah.
curled up in his bed. I refuse to pilot the Gundam, and
Yeah.
then he's stealing the Gundam.
Yeah.
Piling it against their orders.
Dude.
So you can't keep up, right?
No.
But you're right. It's the mania that he's kind of going through.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately for his arc as in the greater Amuro arc
Yeah.
over the whole course of the Universal Century beyond even this show.
Yeah.
I think it's a good essential step.
Yeah.
But localized to just this movie trilogy,
It's a clusterfuck. It's
hard.
So you do see in the end where he lands is dedication to the army, dedication to the army, and dedication to his suit. You know what I
Yes.
mean? In the end, it consumes his entire
Gundam.
life. You see everything falling away from him, and that's the one constant, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's burnt out too, right? Like
Totally.
16-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Burnt out. Like there's
Yeah.
that one scene where he's literally just curled up on his bed
Yeah.
and his eyes are white. I loved
Yeah.
it. And I was
Yeah.
like,
I feel like
yeah.
there's a scene also too. I'm like having memories where he's like something really crazy happens, and he's like freaking out, and he turns around and he like eats a sandwich or something. He's like just walks away.
Well,
I-
I would imagine like at that point you would just disassociate.
He just shakes it off. He's like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
then back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on and talk about Char.
Because the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The legend.
So I didn't get a lot of great vibes from him in this movie. Some like next level vibes. To me, he was not a standout character.
in the whole movie trilogy.
I mean, he serves his purpose. Do you know what I mean? As a counterpart to Amuro.
Okay.
Right? But as a character, he just felt like this kind of like revolutionary military dude. Like it's a carbon copy of characters I've seen a million times before.
Okay.
Or
a million
were
times
the carbon
before.
copies of him.
That's what I'm saying. A million times
Maybe.
before, dated 1978.
My point is that it's just like there's no way that Char is the first of that guy.
Not
Do
necessarily.
you see what I'm
but-
saying?
but-
So
but
it's just he's just an archetype. He doesn't stand out from that archetype for me a little bit.
I think there's nuance to Char. And
There is a
keep in
little
mind,
bit.
this is coming from somebody who knows so much more about him as a
Sure.
character than you do.
Sure.
So like I see the nuance.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for not necessarily seeing the nuance.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that aside from just being a foil to Amuro and being a counterpart to Amuro, I really like that he had his own motivations as well aside from Amuro.
And I will say that like he is more important than Amuro to me through this series as well too. Like
the
we
overall story,
we've
yeah.
established Amuro's a little bitch boy.
He's
right?
the ace for Earth. That's
Yeah.
basically it.
Exactly. And Char and his motives and his objectives are again more intense, more important,
Revolutionary, like you
Exactly.
said.
Exactly. But what
He's
happened?
seeking revenge.
Yeah,
right?
revenge
Like,
though that will flip the whole galactic government on its head.
Because here's the other thing, and you don't realize this right at the beginning, and I guess we're getting ahead of ourselves, but he's not really just the bad guy. He's kind of an anti-hero. And in
Yes.
the end, like
Yes.
he's kind of like you're not opposed to him in the end. He's not a full bad guy.
You learn that Zeon itself is his namesake.
Yeah.
That he is the son of Zeon Zemdaikun.
Yeah, and they're kind of
he's
also-
Cassivil Daikun. He's the son of what Zeon should be.
Yeah, and while they're like a warring nation, they're also kind of like an oppressed nation. You find that out later as well too, right? So that's kind of cool.
The zombies are very much, a dictator kind of presence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're a familial unit that you can tell is very self-interested.
Yeah.
They're the worst of the worst. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So even with Char fighting on their side, technically in the war, next to the zombies, Char's a fucking saint.
Yeah.
Char's a good dude.
Exactly.
He's a bro.
And more as time goes on, you just lean further and further onto his side.
100%.
So the only thing I would say about him is like when we watched it together and he came on the screen, we paused, we had a little chat about Char, and you told me that he's kind of, we talked about Star Wars. You said he's
Yes.
kind of the Darth Vader, but I didn't get any Darth Vader-ness out of him.
He's Darth Vader in the sense that he's the foil to the protagonist of the story. He's the Darth Vader in the sense that he's the man in the helmet.
Yeah.
That the whole universe kind of reveres.
I just kept wanting him to be like more powerful or like a little scary or like have more of an impact on people. Like I know like when he gets in his suit, he's the best guy in a suit. You know what I mean? Until Amuro levels up his skill, Char's the best guy in a suit. So I get that. You know what I mean? But he wasn't like a scary, imposing presence.
Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, I can see why that didn't come across super strong. I think like, I always feel like hesitate because it's like, oh, spoilers, but fuck it.
Yeah, we're spoiling shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just tell me.
His orchestration.
I'll tell you about Book of Boba Fett afterward.
The orchestration of his betrayal of Garma Zabi
Yeah.
and his backstabbing of
good.
his best bro Garma Zabi.
That was really good.
Dude,
Yeah.
that to me is like a guy who politically has very little power in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
His costume might suggest otherwise. He looks very high up, but in the grand scheme of things, the Zabis all rank above him. He's a subordinate to all of them.
Well, I didn't actually view his costume as a ranking up thing. I view his costume as like a posturing thing.
and that's
He's
what
like,
it is.
fucking look at me, bro.
And that's
Yeah,
what it is.
exactly, yeah.
He's the Red Comet.
Yeah.
He has a nickname.
Yeah,
you know
he's
what I mean?
flashy, he's flamboyant. Yeah.
Yeah, but he orchestrated the death of Garma Zabi and his ability to do that
Yeah.
and come out on the other side like not even a suspect.
Yeah.
That's scary, man.
I guess that's true.
That's not like choke you with
Yeah.
like air scary, but
yeah.
it's like
It's
Like
in the,
I'm
in the
using
realm of
both hands.
but that's like I'm waiting in the
It's
wings
scary,
while you get blown up or you dive bomb your ship in a suicide bombing kind of scary.
Exactly. It's scary in the realm of a movie that is more about war and political posturing, and less so a movie that should have been called Star Adventures.
Or space magic.
Yeah, exactly. Touche.
My metachlorian count is fucking through the roof.
You suck a dick with midichlorian, bro. Do you think that Char and Garma have ever fucked?
Once. Only once.
Yeah.
And Garma caught feelings.
Garma caught feelings hard.
Yeah.
That was very apparent.
Char moved on.
Yeah. He did. Yeah. Char never cared to begin with.
Exactly.
Yeah, Char
You're
never gave a
100%
shit.
right.
Okay, I didn't care for a lot of the other characters in this movie.
Okay.
I'll say right off the bat.
You keep saying movie, you mean the movie trilogy.
Movies, yes,
Okay.
movies.
Movie
I just want to make sure
trilogy.
you're not for some reason zeroing in on just one of
No,
them.
no. Movies.
But there's so many important characters. Lala is a huge.
She's a character that I was gonna say stands out,
And she has continued importance in the series.
which is strange because she dies. But there's got to be
Her death.
Spoiler alert! Yeah, her death was great. We're getting there. We'll get there.
It was a great death, but it was an impactful death to not just our main character, but both of our main characters.
I know, and that really did set off. It's just a shame that all happened in the last little bit, because when it was done was when I got really excited. When that happened, I was like, oh, now I'm like invested. That really hooked me.
Interesting.
But like for that to hook me at the end of a 3-movie trilogy was like a long haul to get.
Sure.
There. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
see,
fair.
I think that's I was kind of having this prediction when we started this venture. It's like
Yeah.
I wonder if he's going to be more into the theology of like new types rather than the military
Same.
stuff.
See, and that's another thing.
I wondered the same thing.
And you're right, I am, because the military stuff was just kept losing me. I couldn't keep track of it, dude.
That's
Yeah,
the opposite
but-
of what I thought.
Really?
Because Mikey, I was on the same page. I was
Because
like, is
I
he
hate
gonna love the
magic.
space magic
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
or is he gonna like the military shit more? I thought you were gonna like the military stuff, and that the space magic was gonna trip you
So
up.
I have my issues with both, obviously, but the space magic stuff,
You man.
See, Jay, just like I know.
Can you just like something?
I like to some
Senpai
extent.
knows, you fucking now you feel what it feels like to be in that seat.
I feel very Mikey right now.
He
I
might
feel
have felt
very
it
Mikey.
harder than you because I fucking hurt his feelings with Initial D really badly.
You think. I'm not butthurt.
Yeah.
I'm not, okay?
Shit. Okay, where are we?
Go man.
Yeah, the space magic. I like that it's a little, especially in these three movies. It's very subtle.
Yes.
It's
they were
small.
just starting
They
to
were just starting.
introduce it, man.
Exactly.
Let me tell you later on, and I won't spoil which one.
Yeah.
We get new type dolphins. Yeah, you know what? Let's cut it here. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Dude,
We'll skip that series.
I kind of want to watch it,
Dude, they're at like
but
a
I
beach.
don't want to
like,
spend an hour talking about
they're at
it.
a beach near like a
Yeah.
pier, and they like walk out, and then like the dolphin like kind of comes up out of the water and is like looking at them, and then they have like a telepathic conversation. It's crazy. Anyways, we're liking the idea of new types in Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah.
We're liking the idea of new. It's very the Force.
Wait. You know what we should make them watch though is the really racist one.
Why? What do you think of me?
The mobile,
Which one was that?
The mobile fighter G Gundam.
G Gundam.
Yeah, the ones where it's like
Yes.
it's like different countries.
Okay.
And they have
So
their
in this
own
world,
Gundam.
the world has like a universal Gundam tournament, and every
Okay.
country has their mascot Gundam that
Okay.
they send into battle.
Makes sense.
And Mikey, keep going.
like the Mexican one is like just a guy in a sombrero.
It's the Tequila Gundam.
Oh my god.
That's the actual name, dude. Canada has the Lumber Gundam,
no.
and he looks like a
No,
lumberjack.
dude. No.
America, okay. Gundam Maxter, okay. The name doesn't really give it away. Football gear.
Yeah. So fucking funny.
Yeah, dude. But anyways, that was in the
You're not
90s.
you're not selling
That
this.
was in the 90s, and that was a different universe.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just for fun.
That's just for fun, shits and giggles. But no,
Okay.
in the real world
Yeah.
line, you're right. New types, I felt was very Force-ish.
Yeah.
Which again was why when I was telling you about this, I was like Star Wars. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's very Star Wars. Like,
Yeah, what you did worked
good.
because it did land in that same realm in my brain, in the same Star Wars realm.
I knew it was a double-edged sword, though.
Okay, so let me just say again, I'm an idiot. If you didn't tell me that, I might not have, other than space battles, I might not have locked in on all the Star Warsy stuff.
I knew it was a double-edged sword because I knew that if I could hearken that in your brain,
Yeah.
that would draw you in. But I
Yeah.
knew that would also open it up to comparison and
was-
to criticism.
this is
because
gonna
you can't
sound-
not
Yeah.
compare the two and how they handle different
For sure.
things.
And this is going to sound out of character for me, but like it was fresh enough, you know what I mean? That it didn't feel like a clone, which is strange because some elements were like carbon copy clones. Exactly. I don't know what, but exactly. Everything. The Force.
saber.
Yeah, everything.
not lightsaber, beam saber.
Beam
Yeah.
saber.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, it's different. And we, I guess we can say now, we also did watch Char's Counterattack, which is for a future episode, but it just keeps going and going with the Star Wars shit.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Well,
it
that's
just-
part 2.
Yeah,
This is part 1 technically.
Yeah. So it didn't bother me the way that it should have, and I don't know why. I think probably because they leaned so heavy into the military. It's weird because this is fucked up. Leaning heavy into the military.
I love it.
and
This fucked you up.
leaning into the military and war shit made the Star Wars clone copy feel fresh and not like just an exact Star Wars clone
Okay.
copy. But that element was also the element that was losing me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. It differentiated, but it didn't. That's not what hooked you.
Exactly.
It allowed you to differentiate.
Yeah.
But it didn't hook you.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay,
dude.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because there's different mechanisms right
Yeah.
going on here. Like
Yeah.
the thing that hooked you was
Nazis.
Space magic.
space magic.
Yeah.
I wanted you to tell me. I wanted you to feel it, bro.
Space magic, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
okay. So like the idea of new types. So like, what did you understand a new type to be?
Well, when they describe it, they say that it's really just like an intuition thing. They're just like a little bit more in tune with like their surroundings, and they're
Right.
able to like figure shit out quicker.
Sure. Yeah.
But you knew that wasn't all it was. Like really quickly, you knew that that's not all it is. There's something going on here.
But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
the new type abilities like they get built on and they get developed and they get reworked and they get played with. You know what I mean? We saw some of it in Char's Counterattack, what they're doing with new types later on. Yeah. So
yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's graze over the plot.
Okay.
Unless you want to go deeply into the plot, let me just get going on it. So
let's go.
Let's start
see where it goes.
So we're post of a great war. That's basically where we drop into a story. There's a great war. We're kind of at the end of it, right? And both sides have been like halved, basically. Like both armies are like dwindled down to like, and everybody's pissed off. And right at the very beginning, we're evacuating Earth because there's like a massive like asteroid coming to hit the Earth or something, right? Or the army's coming to fight them. Anyway, everyone has to leave. What's happening? I'm mixing a bunch of things up, I think, right?
There are colonies being dropped.
Colonies are being dropped.
Yes.
Onto Earth.
Onto Earth.
Okay. So everyone has to leave. And then all of a sudden we get the first look at the Gundam. At first, here's the other fucking funny thing, dude. At first, the first thing you see is Gundams like kind of floating around. Or not Gundams.
No,
Zaku's?
Zaku's.
They're all Gundams.
Also, that first scene, it's not
They're
Earth.
not all Gundams.
Everybody leaving, like, so hold on. Let's go back real quick. I hate to rewind, okay?
No, go ahead.
You're saying, like, so the colony drops have happened on Earth. That's why, like, people are in space on colonies. But the movies open up on a colony being attacked.
Wait, we're not on Earth in the beginning of the movie?
With Amuro and the Gundam? Yeah. That's side 7.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know, dude. Like I said before,
That's a
dude,
colony.
like I said before, all the colonies felt like Earth.
Those Zaku's that are floating around,
Yeah.
they're breaking into the colony. That's why they're going through that hatch.
And the colony is being dropped to Earth, and so they have to evacuate it.
It's being attacked
It's being attacked
by Xeon.
by Xeon.
Xeon is attacking.
Xeon is attacking the colony.
Xeon. So out of the colonies in space, they're not all Xeon, right?
No,
They're-
I know that.
Like some of them are Earth
colonies, yes, yeah,
but
yeah.
some of them are Xeon colonies.
Okay, I know that. I
Right?
know that, yeah.
So Xeon is invading one of the Earth colonies
Okay.
at the beginning.
Okay.
Where Amuro is.
Gotcha. And you see the Zaku's crawling through the hole, and now
Yes.
they're inside. When I
Attacking.
first saw them, because they're the first thing you see, I thought they were regular sized people.
I remember that.
And then one of their faces opened up, and a regular sized person hops out. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
It was his torso, it wasn't his face.
Whatever comes out.
Listen, okay? It's important.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny because one of my first notes about this first scene is like, I often forget we're not on Earth. Which I also just did.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, like really quickly during the evacuation, Amuro hops in the Gundam, like right away, right?
Stumbles upon it.
Yeah.
Just kind of falls into it. He's looking for his dad.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
his dad is the designer, the head guy of the Gundam project. And when he's finding his dad, he
It happens to just be there.
happens to be there. And
Yeah.
he happens to get on a whim.
Yeah, and he happens to like know how to use it and can just kill it.
And you suddenly have the premise of pretty much every Gundam offshoot
Yeah.
ever.
Someone comes upon it, hops in.
Someone unexpected.
Yeah. Do a lot of other people other than Amuro
Circumstance.
pilot the Gundam? Or is it always Amuro in the Gundam?
Well,
no.
the one that
Sayla does.
Oh, yeah, that's
Sayla,
true.
yeah,
That's a good
Sayla
point.
does,
Yeah.
but like not to its full potential by any
Yeah,
means.
no,
Because-
because he's like the prime new type. He's like the best new type there is.
That's right. He's like new types have varying levels of power themselves.
Yeah,
He's
but we
a
don't
ve-
know that yet at this point. At this point, we
No.
think just the kid is like either like a savant with machines, which they kind of lead you into the way he knows about it and the way he learns how to like be a mechanic to it.
It's very easy to believe that he's just that.
Exactly. Yeah, I did. That is normally something that would bother me. But again, they did a good job of fleshing out, of like leading you on with that. you know?
Yeah, well, the reveal feels like satisfactory because you're just like, damn, I thought he was just a nerd.
Yeah.
You know, he's a fucking, he's a magical nerd.
He's a magical nerd. We love magical nerds.
We all want to be one day.
Yeah. Do we?
I want to be magic.
I
already got the nerd thing.
If it was
Space
an option,
magic.
if it was an option, I'd take it. Okay, so now there's like battles happening, right? He's in the Gundam, and people are amazed by the Gundam, and Char shows up, right? And he flies right in there like a badass,
In
like
the red Zaku.
zip right in there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what's her? She has two names. I know her as Artesia, but she has another name.
Sayla.
She sees him, right? And there's this quick scene where she's like, "That could be my brother." Very quickly, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's happening now.
Yeah.
And then we move on from that really quickly. They call him the Red Comet, so we get his like name and his notoriety and the fact that he has a reputation.
Yes.
Right. That all hops in place. So he and Amuro are facing off now. And this is the beginning of the whole like, is it the pilot or is it the suit that's better? Which is a theme that runs through this whole movie. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It keeps plaguing him. Later on, when you find out about new types, you get kind of an answer into that it's kind of both. But at the same time, it's kind of interesting the way he struggles with that.
And it definitely becomes both later on in subsequent series.
Yeah, and people are like chirping him about it. People are constantly saying to him like, yeah, you're just a pilot, like you're nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're lucky that suit's so powerful.
Yeah. A cool piece of military tactic they do in this first battle that really blew my mind is Amuro, of all people, starts screaming. He's like, they're getting attacked. And they all, a couple of them decide to pilot the suits because there's two others. No, is there others? Or is it just Gundam at this point?
No, so there's Gundam, and then there's the Gundam
tank.
tank, and then the Gundam
Cannon.
cannon.
The gun cannon and the gun tank.
I can't remember if they're in this battle or not because remember all the battles are like same battle.
Yes.
But anyways, Amuro
They are
starts
not.
yelling. He goes, they're all the same battle. Amuro starts going, destroy all the Gundam parts that we can't use. You know what I mean? Because he's like, they don't want them to get them.
That's
which
right.
I was like, whoa, crazy. I never would have thought of that.
Destroy
Very
the
smart.
evidence.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the
Which,
thing.
'cause that's like hurting
military,
yourself, right?
military espionage.
Yeah.
Like they're aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is smart. Like
Yeah.
so many war things overlook that.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so like our team of like heroes or like our protagonist team, they end up escaping and they end up on a base called Luna 2, which is an asteroid.
Yeah.
And which had very big time like secret rebel base on Hoth vibes. Not snowy, but it definitely had that vibe. It's quiet. They're all hunkered down.
Yeah.
And then really quickly, everyone gets told like, "Oh, you're all in the military now."
Surprise. We don't have anybody else. They're all dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of you know how to fly, so you're pilots now.
You fight
Yeah.
or we
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that scene in Independence Day
Yeah.
where the guy steps up, "I'm a pilot. I
Yeah.
can fly."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been in like an RV the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Alcoholic or
Yeah, we
something.
need everyone
Yeah.
we can get. Yeah.
Yeah.
And quickly right up again, they're getting ambushed.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's constantly a battle on their tails, no matter where they go in this movie. Again, a lot of battles. They're all the same. So what they're trying to do is push the asteroid down to Earth and they're trying to push the suits down to Earth, and we see White Base for the first time. I think, right? Maybe I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is hard
yeah,
to follow.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're
Yeah.
trying to push it towards Earth so it burns up on re-entry, but it doesn't. It's like made to withstand that. The Gundam too, right?
The Gundam.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So they all end up down on Earth now after
Yeah.
this scene.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then there's this massive like hide and seek game for a while,
yeah.
for like a long while.
Search for the white base.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
They're
the
just
battle
on,
of the
they're on
week.
the run.
Yeah, and they keep hiding White Base under like a bunch of moss,
They
but like
find
not
a lot
enough
of-
really, like a little bit.
They find ways. Let
Yeah.
me tell you, they find ways.
At this point, I was liking the fact that they're using the mobile suits, but because they imply that they're like so brand new and like a lot of them people have never seen before, there's only like 3 or 4 you see throughout this whole movie. There's
Yep.
like a handful of Zaku's and the Gundam and the gun tank and the gun cannon, and that's it.
That's right.
Right? Which I was like, cool. I was like, they could have just gone full hog on those and just dropped right into it, but there was like an element of developing.
Yeah, it's
that I
new
appreciate
tech.
it. Yeah, exactly.
and that's
Yeah.
exciting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so we get introduced to Matilda, and she pops in with like a spicy look, and like everyone's obsessed with her.
Super spicy,
Yeah,
dude.
everyone's
Even Amuro
fucking-
is like, holy fuck.
Yeah, Amber, I'm not. He's
Fra?
the one I'm
Who?
least surprised about. That
Yeah.
fell
No
for it.
kidding.
Okay, yeah,
No
you know what I
kidding.
mean.
Poor Fra though, man.
Yeah, dude. Honestly,
She's like that other trope where like she's just chasing the kids around the whole time,
yeah,
right? Like
Wrangling the kids.
wrangling the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was late. The kids.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Sumimasen.
It's just weird
I
because
love
because of her connection to Amuro, like you felt like she should have been more than that. Like she deserved more than what she got. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, we have a little beach party.
Of course.
A
Yeah.
little beach party. You gotta have that.
You have to.
And meanwhile, Char and Garma go on a cute date to a party.
Yep.
Yeah, which is where they may have had their one
ball.
little encounter at the ball. And honestly, to be honest with you, like I'm down for that couple. If that was a thing, I'm kind of down for it.
Man ships Char and Garma. Oh my god.
I'm into it, man. I'm into it. They were cute together.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like after watching Origin, he's like, "Isn't that wrong?"
Okay.
But
Okay.
but at the same time, Char is the man.
Yeah.
he's
Yes.
the man.
Yeah, and we already established that this whole party that they're at is like Char is like stacking things up against Garma, and like it all comes to a head.
Totally.
I'm fuzzy on the order of things towards the end of this movie because I think there was just a lot of space battle happening that I like wasn't taking a shit ton of notes. But what you do get here is a bunch of Amuro's backstory. So you find out that his family split up, but like kind of calmly and agreeably, because his dad's like, well, I built this fucking thing, and so I got to go to war and deal with this thing. And his mom's like, well, I'm going to stay here.
I wouldn't say calmly. I mean, it was definitely heartbreaking, I think, for his mother to
True,
say
but it was
bye,
like all
but
agreeable. Everyone was like,
I think it was understood.
yeah, totally,
Yes,
yeah.
for sure.
And so then we get this crazy segment where Amuro reunites with his mom.
Yes.
And his
Super
mom's living in
emotional.
this like village that is like overrun by Zaku soldiers or EFF soldiers.
Zeon
soldiers.
Zeon
Zaku,
soldiers.
Zeon, whatever. And they're your typical dickhead soldiers occupying a village, right? Like they're like, occupying someone's house and drinking in there, and it happens to be Emero's house. And then when he finds his mom, she's working like at a hospital or whatever, and they have this like, cute moment or whatever, and it seems nice. And the soldiers show up and they have to hide Amuro because he's like in his outfit or whatever, and they all saw him fly in, so they know
That's
there's a
right.
soldier floating around or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
he's who they're looking for. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's
in
hiding.
the house was EFF soldiers.
Was it?
Yeah, and then
Were
in
they?
yeah.
Okay.
And then in the town it was Zeon soldiers.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Which is interesting because it's like there's also an element in this movie of like humanizing the enemy. They do that a lot. Do you know what I mean?
It's one of the ones that I think does it the best as far
Totally.
as giving a empathetic side to
Yeah, especially as they develop Char more, and you find out about how like his family and his people were kind of oppressed, and the way the Earth government treats the spaceborne colonies and whatnot.
Right.
It's crazy. Yeah.
and how the zombies twisted Zeon's
Yeah.
message
Totally.
through, to suit their own goals, right?
But isn't that how war is? Like usually
It's
just
a mirror
but
to
often,
real life.
but
Yeah.
often in movies, it's good guy, bad guy.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It's a little bit more black and white, but the fact that one of like a TV series from the 70s is portraying how realistic
Yeah.
and how, you can empathize with, the opposing side and
Yeah.
Bro, it should be stated that like right now we're talking about this and watching this, and there's some crazy shit happening in the real
I know.
world.
I was just thinking about that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have to get into
Yeah,
it
we
because we're
won't,
on a
yeah.
political podcast and I'm an idiot, so that'll go poorly. But like, it really is interesting to be doing this with that perspective happening
Yeah.
right now.
Well, one of the most recent Gundam movies that came out actually has some visuals that are like staggeringly similar, probably direct like lifts from actual footage of
Yeah.
like battles in the Middle East with
I don't doubt it.
missile warfare
Yeah.
and whatnot. Like
Well,
they're
even-
emulating like captured footage from actual battlefields now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
or
not
the
science fiction; it's real life.
MS8 team or whatever.
The 8th MS team.
Or 8th MS team, like that one, didn't they take stuff from like the Vietnamese
It's
war?
it's a total Vietnam War rip.
yeah.
Yeah. Which
Isn't
is
that
very
funny?
cool.
It's kind of full circle because you said earlier that like Gundam has influenced in a lot of way the way people view like technology and war in real life. And now Gundam is now emulating actual wars.
That's what I mean. Real life is caught up. Real
Yeah.
life is no longer science.
It's like-
Science fiction isn't science fiction. It's just
Yeah.
what we have now.
It's the cycle of life imitates art and art imitates life. And
right.
it just is a complete circle.
Like rail guns exist.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like what?
Yeah.
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 What?
A guy made a lightsaber.
Yeah. There's guys on jetpacks now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
crazy.
We digress.
We digress.
It is important, but also let's get back to that scene with Emero's mom. So Emero's lying in bed and he gets betrayed by his cell phone. Yeah, he's got a little gun, dude. Yeah, his cell phone rings and everyone's like, "What was that?" And he's like, "God damn it, who's calling me right now? Shut
Yeah.
the fuck up." Anyways, and he murders that soldier in front of everybody.
Bang bang.
Bang, bang, dead, dude.
Yeah.
And obviously, this fucks the whole town up because like that he's a soldier.
They're gonna follow up.
Exactly 100%, right? And his mom's losing it on him, dude. His mom's like, "Why would you do that?" And she's giving him like a lecture and a guilt trip, might I add, on the
Last
ethics of
time
war.
she saw him, it was a little baby boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Now she's seeing this murderous soldier.
Yeah, dude, totally. And he's not having any of it. That's the other crazy part. And so he basically runs off. Does he kill all the soldiers first? He does something to
No.
protect the town. I don't know. Anyways, he runs off.
Yeah.
And as he's running off, she's screaming, literally, "I'm ashamed of you." She's yelling at him, dude.
But like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Amuro is, to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, is like he's gone through so much trauma.
Totally.
And that was a huge trauma response. Like, these are Zeon soldiers
Yeah.
that have been trying to kill me
Yeah.
since I've been in this war.
Yeah.
And like, what do I do? How do I survive?
He's so far into the depths of the war that the little nuances of like the little towns and the people, he does not care. You know what I mean? He's so far in the depths of like what the elements of the war are at the heart, that the fringe stuff happening to people and anything his mom is saying to him, he's like, that's not my lived experience.
Yeah.
Anyways, he goes and he does something with the soldiers. I can't remember what. And then he comes back to say goodbye to his mom when White Base is finally going to leave. And he salutes his fucking mom goodbye, dude. No hug, no high five, no I love you. He fucking salutes her and walks away, dude. And she's crying and she's falling apart, obviously.
Dude, it's such a mic drop moment.
That was probably the biggest moment in this first film. Maybe all three, to be honest. I don't know.
Character development wise, it's the biggest thing we've seen.
Yeah.
For character development,
Yeah.
aside from maybe Chard betraying Garma.
Yeah. Well,
Those would
that's
be the
kind
two
of
biggest ones.
the next thing of how the movie ends is there's a big battle and Char betrays Garma and like everything turns on him and he's dead. He's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how that movie ends, basically, right?
Pretty much.
Okay, so let's move on to movie number 2.
Yeah.
Soldiers of Sorrow.
Soldiers of Sorrow.
What like dramatic names for the movies too, right? This one specifically. The other one's way less dramatic.
It's like, yeah, it's for kids. We'll sell toys.
Yeah.
Soldiers of Sorrow.
Yeah, that sounds more like adult. The second one is Encounters in Space.
I know.
Yeah, it sounds like a Duck Dodgers Looney Tunes thing or something.
Duck Dodgers!
Encounters in Space. Okay, so the second movie, we're dropped directly into a Star Wars-y space battle, right in the middle of it. And this is where we first start hearing people talk about new types.
Heavily, yes.
Not even heavily at first. They get into it later in this movie, but when you first hear it, it's like the first time you've even heard the word. Maybe once at the end of the last movie.
I was going to say last movie,
maybe.
I think they touched on it very briefly.
But they're dribbling it in, basically,
right.
is what I'm trying to get at.
Absolutely. they
Yeah.
are.
Anyways, there's like all sorts of characters doing all sorts of things. We're not going to get into all of them. Like everyone's obsessed with Matilda. They have that cute little photo shoot.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And there's a point here where Sayla steals the Gundam. Right? And she dives out of the ship or whatever, and she gets her foot caught off by a Zaku who's hiding in the sand, which was like one of those funny moves that, again, wasn't supposed to be funny, but the way she fumbles out of the fucking ship never gets old to me, dude. Never gets old.
Bambi on ice, man. That's
Exactly.
all it is. Yeah.
So anyways, she fucked up, but what she did do is they ended up, by her doing that, they were able to capture one.
Yeah.
Right, so they bring this guy on board, and he right away starts like spilling the beans, which is weird. But I don't think he gives a fuck, to be honest with you.
Also kind of real, though.
Yeah, I guess so. He wasn't scared. He wasn't spilling the beans because he was scared for his life. He was just like a pompous, overconfident asshole, basically. Do you know what I mean? He didn't think he had anything to lose.
Yes.
And I think because Sayla's also in jail now, I think he recognizes her.
Right.
Because he goes to escape and he tries to convince her to come with him. So I don't know if he recognized her or just another person in jail. I don't know what was going on there. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he actually recognized her, but
Yeah, I don't think he recognized her, but I
Yeah.
think that he recognized that she was trying to like fuck with them by
Yeah.
taking the Gundam. And he's like,
Sure.
and he's like, oh, you're not actually
Yeah.
one of them. You're a Xeon, aren't you?
She
And
also
so-
like grills him for a bit one-to-one and like gets kind of emotional, and I think that gives away a little bit about like there's something else going
Something
on about
else,
this one.
yeah.
So anyways, you find out that Xeon Soldier is sending intel back. He's like giving away the location of White Base, and then he dies. Dead.
Yep.
Another guy dead.
which they don't shy away from doing.
No.
Just
No.
dead. You're
Yeah,
dead.
totally. But
You're
what's
dead.
funny is like you forget about that for a little while in these movies, and then all of a sudden they drop one. You're like, oh yeah, right, we're in a war movie, and sometimes they show you the war. So the next point I have here, plot wise, is where they start heavily talking about new types because Mirai and Bright are talking mad shit about Emro.
Yeah.
and he's right there listening, dude. They're basically like questioning whether he's fit to basically fly the Gundam because if they don't know what new types are, they're kind of scared. There's like almost a racism element going on here with the new types. And then he takes the Gundam and dips
Yep.
and buries it in the sand
Bye.
with no tools.
Well,
Yeah.
the Gundam.
The
could have
Gundam, I
buried
guess, he just
itself.
like
and then
hops
puts it
out
on
of it.
vibrate mode and hops out.
the
and it
scene you
just-
see at the end is he's like,
like
literally
kicking.
kicking sand on its face, which made me laugh. And then there's another like classic buddy comedy breakup soundtrack as he's walking away from the Gundam.
It's beautiful.
best, man.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so emotional.
Yeah. So it's so emotional. It's his best friend, the Gundam.
I guess.
Yeah, it's his eagly.
It is.
Okay, so he ends up walking to a town through the desert and sits in a restaurant. And who walks in? Ramba Ral.
Ramba Ral, the mustache of death.
The mustache of death.
so his Gundam is not a Zaku.
Okay.
No, it's
the
a
goof.
goof.
It's goofy as shit.
No, fuck you. The goof is way cooler than the Zaku.
I took advantage of a pun. It's not goofy. Okay, so he's hanging out in this bar with this weird lady who, like, right away for some reason, like, zeroes in on Amuro and like seems like she wants to bang him. It
Yeah.
seems like that.
There's some weird sexual tension.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and Rambaral's like not bothered, and then you find out later that he's been banging her. So I was like, I don't know, there's some weird stuff going on there.
it's not threatened.
And then so they're starting to like have an interaction, and Amuro's like kind of concerned and sweating, and Frost shows up, right? And she's
Fucks
trying to
everything
convince.
up.
Well, not really though. She's trying to convince him to come back. She does kind of like give him away, right? She blows his cover.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is Rambaral is kind of like, oh, okay, I see who you are. You can go. And Amuro's like, what? And he's like, yeah. I was like, we met here, but like we'll meet on the battlefield. Which
And
was like,
it shows Ramba.
dude, I actually liked that. Actually, Rambaral was a character that I kind of digged, to be honest with you.
He's, I think, a fan
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
Personally, one of my favorites, Mikey.
I just really like his goof suit.
Yeah?
So.
Yeah.
His goof troop suit.
Well, it's just so much. It's so much more badass than the Zaku.
It's a Zaku on roids.
I
Yeah.
didn't notice that much of a difference about it, to be honest with you.
Dude, he's got fucking spikes on both shoulders. He's got the
blue.
Omega Red fucking
Yeah.
Whip.
I guess.
He's blue.
Yeah.
Sure.
He beats the shit out of the Gundam.
Yeah.
He does beat the shit out of the gun. I don't know.
He's also a very important character in the lore.
You've said that earlier. Yeah, I don't know. The goof suit that you're calling didn't, to me, stand out from the Zaku's that much. It just seemed like you said, a Zaku on roids.
But narratively, it was supposed to be a big moment in Zeon's
Okay.
technical development.
Sure, yeah.
It showed that they were advancing their suits at a rapid pace.
Sure.
Faster even than the EFF, right?
Yeah.
You know what it is,
Much
too,
faster.
man? I'm realizing right now it's like I'm so much, and we, like Jay and I are so much more into Gundam because we also, build Gunpla.
Yeah, so you notice the little tiny differences.
Yeah, we notice the differences. We build the kits.
Yeah, because you snip them from the thing and glue them ever so slightly. And
We stare at
and
them
paint
for
each one.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Hours.
Meanwhile,
And
I saw a
design.
green blob and then a red blob and then later on a blue blob with spikes.
Flashing
Yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Like
That's right. You're probably- that's probably right.
Mikey's got some that he's, I don't even know how many hours you would have spent on like the mega size and
Oh yeah,
like
the 1/6 or 1/6 scale. Or
Yeah.
160 scale.
60. Yeah.
How many hours do you
Could
think?
you imagine if I had a 1/6 scale?
That's big.
That's bigger than my house, man.
How many hours do you think you spent?
Oh, I don't even know, man.
Yeah.
But think about how long he's just looking at something. You're going to
Yeah.
take in every little last
that's true.
detail.
That's true. That's true. Okay, we'll get back to it. Rambaral and Amuro are fighting in space now. That happens real quickly after they leave the bar. And it is a great hand-to-hand mobile suit combat. Like the way they're fighting, it was a good battle, right?
Yeah.
And Rambaral, again, I guess he gets defeated. And he drops the line on Amuro again, where it's like, you didn't win because you're the better pilot. You won because the Gundam. Right? Which is a running theme in this. And again, it's before we fleshed out the concept of Amuro being a powerful new type.
That's right.
Which is why it's interesting here.
And at a point where some people just flat out don't believe they exist.
Totally. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or think it's like they're like lesser for being so or something. Right. And then now Amuro's in jail because you go to jail when you steal a Gundam. Apparently, he doesn't.
Well, he went AWOL.
Yeah, he literally went
He
AWOL.
did,
Yeah.
Yeah, he went AWOL.
Yeah.
It's a military crime.
Yeah. Which, like, honestly, when your military is this small, like, what happens to him makes sense. Like, they just very quickly get attacked and they're like, all right, get out of here. We
Get
need
him
you.
out. Yeah, legit.
Yeah. What do I
They
got
also
here?
got to give him a little bit of slack for being fucking 16.
Yeah, I
That's
guess.
also true.
That's true. Yeah.
The constant reminder that the kid's 16.
That's
throughout
true
all
too.
this.
They don't mention it, but you're right. They've got to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get this scene where we learn a little more about White Base and what the EFF is using them for. So they basically have like now come out and saying like White Base is a new type unit, which means they're like testing shit out on them. They've identified that there's a bunch of new types on board. We don't know necessarily who. We have some ideas. And so yeah, they're like putting them in situations to see how they fare, right? Which is kind of interesting, right? Which like they're getting used as guinea pigs, essentially, right?
Very useful guinea pigs.
yeah.
Very useful.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the thing is because they're new types, it's working out for them.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's Rambaral shows up again and they have another fight, right? But he's on board now, not in his goof suit, I guess, or I can't remember how that turns out.
He's like just in the ship.
He ends up in the ship.
Yeah.
And he recognizes Artesia this time, and I guess they knew each other when they were kids or something, he says.
There's.
Yeah, that's the reason why he's so important in the lore.
Oh, okay.
We'll
Yeah.
get into that.
Okay.
Eventually.
Okay. So, anyways, they have this conversation, and basically she tells him to run. And two of the other soldiers, Bright and fucking another guy who dies later, is standing right next to her. And she's like, run. But no one thinks twice about the fact that she just told like a war criminal to run. And no one like questions her about it. No one holds her accountable to that. Which is weird.
Okay,
Anyways, we don't have to linger on it. It was just something I noticed.
Yeah,
That
it might have been an
actually-
overlooked thing.
That actually weirdly happens a lot in these movies. And then he suicides. for nothing, because he dies with a bomb and he lands in the Gundam's hand, but it doesn't hurt the Gundam.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of like a weird, like, sad way for him to go out.
No, but if he got captured, like he knows so much
Yeah.
about Zeon. Like
It almost wanted him to cause some damage with that suicide though. Like I feel like he deserved to maybe like blow the Gundam's hand off or something. Like I don't know. It didn't matter in the end, but it was just interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, it ultimately illustrates some of the futility of war.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
but
Yeah, you're right.
also culturally too, right? Like there's kamikaze is a big thing in
Seppuku.
That's true. Yeah.
seppuku,
Yeah.
like that. Those are a big things in Japan, right?
But a lot of that is about dying with honor in battle and like having an impact in your death, and his death had no impact.
no, but seppuku isn't. It's dying with honor for like a mistake
Sure,
or like
sure.
following your master or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
It's for you,
yeah,
not
right?
for others.
Yeah.
So-
Well, his was for the army though, right? Because like you said, if he got captured, he's
For the
fine.
army,
Yeah.
but for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna
By
die
extension.
in battle by his own means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Ultimately for him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, so this guy Ryu
Ryu.
is
Yeah.
flying the core blaster, and he suicides.
Yeah.
Like suicides all over the place, dude. And then they have this funeral for him, dude.
It's not suicide, sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. You're right.
Yeah.
Suicide's much sadder.
Fuck yeah, Mikey.
Sacrifice.
You tell him.
Okay, so they have this funeral for him, right? And at his funeral, they give him a 3-rank promotion, and Amuro loses his fucking shit, dude. He's like, "You're just gonna write off the dead like that?" He's like, 3-rank promotion, and that's it. And then we all move on, and he loses his mind. That was one of the realest moments in the whole show. Like he walks away from that like white knuckling it, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Another thing that happens right after that is Amuro has a moment where he's screaming. He's in the plane. He's screaming Matilda's name. I missed her dying. Did she die?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
It's a spectacular
Yeah.
death.
Tell me about it.
I'm leaving.
I forgot it or something, man. I don't know, dude.
She goes out in the fucking shipment plane, and she's like, I can't let the white base, go down. I got to save all these people and help out.
Yeah.
And so she goes out in the shipment plane, and she gets like knocked down.
Yeah.
And
She suicides.
God damn it, Jordy.
I'm getting so mad. I'm like,
Yeah, you know
my
when
blood is just boiling.
Yeah, Jay's getting mad. He just gets silent.
I don't know how here's what happened is I just must not have made notes on it, and then when I went back to like type my notes up,
Maybe
it
you
wasn't in my
forgot.
memory. It wasn't in my memory.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
that's okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
it's
a
okay.
huge
It
point.
happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Um,
Shouldn't happen, but it does.
okay, so here's the next sequence of shit that's crazy. Is first of all, Kai is a piece of shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck Kai from the moment I met him. Okay?
The moment you see his face, he's
Immediately.
drawn to be a piece of
And
shit.
they like do this thing where they like dance him to the edge of like maybe he's not so bad, but no, he's a piece of shit through and through. So he runs away essentially and meets this chick on planet or on Colony.
No, that was Planet.
Okay.
That- yeah.
Anyways, she's a
Thank you,
spy.
Mikey.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Planet.
It's all
Because
the
they
same.
didn't get to Jaburo at that point.
Right.
No, because
Yeah.
that's the thing with her, right?
Yeah.
She's a spy, and her task is to find out where White Base is going.
Right.
Right? And so she sneaks onto White Base, and Kai knows all of this, and he freaks out and runs back to White Base, not to stop her, but because he likes her. Right? He knows she's up to no good, and again, he goes to court her, not to stop her. So he like, what a piece of shit, dude.
Yeah, man.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then he literally just right in front of her spills the beans on all the information that she's there to get.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit, man.
The worst.
Then she relays the info, and then she dies, and Kai's a crybaby about it.
One of the most punchable characters maybe in all of anime.
He's always like this.
Yeah.
yes.
Every time you see
That's
him.
big. Yeah, that's big
Yeah.
Kai energy.
Anyways, and then okay,
guy
so
energy.
she gets all the info, she leaks it, he knows all about it, she dies, he freaks out, he doesn't even tell anyone that they now know where they're going.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
piece of shit, dude. Like, I'm really mad at this character.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy this character.
Yeah. You weren't supposed to.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think you were supposed to hate
He's
him.
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get to Jaburo, and immediately they get ambushed. Immediately. So yeah, there's a pile of new Gundam suits now at this point, right? There's like they're like all lined up in a
Mobile
room,
suits.
right?
Yeah.
They're mobile suits, so they're
Yeah,
based.
yes, I know what they are.
Do you though?
It's
Do
been
you, though?
established.
Do you?
My notes said Gundam suits.
Okay.
Your notes are wrong.
So, and then we find out that not only is there like a pile of like mass manufactured mobile suits,
thank you.
Thank
but
you.
also Char and the Xeon army knows about them, and now they're sneaking in and they want to blow them all up. So they start setting bombs up all over the place, and at this point the kids happen to have escaped. I can't remember the circumstances on how they got out, but everyone's looking for the kids, and the kids just happen to be there. They get all tied up, and then they just get out of their ropes and find all the bombs. Right? They load them into a car and like drive away with them, dude.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah. Man, crazy. And then as they're driving away, Amuro comes to save the day, and he ends up like driving the car off a cliff with the bombs, and they all blow up. Saves the day.
Look, just be happy that was the only amount of real shenanigans those kids really got up to.
It was some fucking shenanigans, dude.
Because in the TV series,
There's a lot of
there's
shenanigans.
a lot more shenanigans that
Okay.
you would have been.
They seem like the type of kids to get up to no good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Kika, man, the little blonde one.
Yeah.
Trouble all the
Yeah.
time.
She looks like trouble.
Always making faces, sticking
Yeah.
her tongue out at people and
Totally.
stuff.
She doesn't give a fuck, dude.
The best.
Yeah. She's a child of war. So
She is
let's
a
be
child
honest.
of
Let's
war,
be
yeah.
serious about what's going on there.
She's hard as fuck.
Yeah, she's hard as fuck. Yeah, and then there's another Amuro Char face off at the end of this movie in the mobile suits. And the soundtrack to this one is specifically hilarious because it's like smooth jazz. All of a sudden, nowhere.
I actually do. Yeah.
It's like
I know
a film
exactly
noir
what-
detective
I know
movie.
exactly the
Yeah.
song. you're
It's
talking
so
about.
fucking weird.
No,
And
let's make
then,
them watch Thunderbolt next because
Yeah.
that has all like
Yeah.
jazz.
That's jazz on purpose.
yeah.
And then one of you guys is gonna have to tell me how this movie ended because I forgot.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I know that Char must have like left. Like I know that battle must have ended somehow, but like how did the movie end?
The story just blends for me in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially, from what I remember, is they will eventually escape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right out of Jaburo, but like
Yeah.
they were.
I don't remember the
fight.
circumstances in which they escaped.
Char gets out of his mobile suit for a second, or no, because he infiltrated and saw his sister.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and then he
shot
gets back
out.
in the suit and they fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways. Point
anyways.
being, their fight ends somehow and they get off planet. Okay. And now we're in Mobile Gundam Suit 3. Encounters in space! Which again opens up with another battle. And at this point, I'm like, enough with the space battles. They're great. They're fine. I love them. But like, there's a fucking million of them, dude. The whole movie is space battles and political posturing.
Yeah.
And I'm getting bored. I'll be honest with you. At this point, I'm starting to get bored.
Are they space battles or are they Star Wars?
The whole thing is a Star War. Each one is an individual space battle.
Just trying to put a different spin on it for you.
Okay,
that's all.
yeah, you're trying, but it's heavy-handed to use a term we use often.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on side 6, and there's a bunch of reunions now.
Yes.
So this random creepy dude shows up who happens to have been Mirai's ex-lover,
Oh my god.
which is kind of random. I don't care to talk more about that. It was just funny. Then Amuro ends up reuniting with his dad,
Yes.
but his dad's all fucked up.
Yeah.
All fucked
But
up,
that's
dude.
the
He's a
thing. You
lunatic.
didn't know that he was still alive because the last time we saw him, he was shot into space in the first movie.
In a ship, though, right?
No, they opened up the side, a hole inside 7.
Yeah.
And he was sucked out into space in a spacesuit.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Jesus.
Dude, it's a lot. It's a lot, man.
It's okay.
a lot.
It's okay. We're
Okay,
gonna forgive
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We don't remember
anyways,
everything either.
They reunite, and his dad's all fucked up, and Amuro's like clearly sees like something's wrong with my dad, and he gives him this like Gundam upgrade, and Amuro's like so fucked up about seeing his dad and the way his dad's talking about him and the Gundam and everything like that. He's basically calling his kid a pussy, essentially, right? He runs outside, he smashes that fucking thing. Right away, which is kind of a bummer because I wanted to see what it was going to do.
Nothing.
No.
No, Amuro saw right away. It's like, what is this junk?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he says like this is junk. Like,
Oh, I
like,
thought he was just angry at his dad and lashing out.
No,
you think it
because-
was junk?
Yeah, because he saw how messed up his dad was. He's like, oh, my dad might have like oxygen poisoning or something like that,
Oxygen poisoning,
or like
See,
or lack of oxygen
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. At that point, Amuro, I think, like probably knows more than his dad.
Interesting. I just kind of assumed that because his dad created the Gundam, that the like Gundam thing he gave to him would have actually been a thing.
Maybe.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm an idiot. That's been established a lot here. So anyways, basically what I got from that scene is that Amuro already lost his mom. He already decided, like, done with her. And at this point, he's also, like, done with dad, too. So at this point, he's, like, fully just a soldier of war. And that's his entire life now going forward.
Yep. Him and the Gundam.
Yeah. Okay, so then after he leaves his dad, he kind of, like, wanders. And he ends up at this, like, beautiful lake. And there's this, like, beautiful swan that comes out of the sky. But the swan's... It's dead or something?
No, it's just there.
Okay.
And they're appreciating the swan.
Okay, first thing, unrelated, but swans don't land on water like that. They don't come down out of the sky, dude. They swoop in and then they fucking land. Anyways,
Out of all the things you're being nitpicky about, you're
I'm not
nitpicky about a damn swan.
no, it's
Swans
it's
don't
fine.
land like that,
fine.
Mikey. Okay?
It's fine. It's just something that I noticed.
Listen, when it comes to swans,
Yeah.
they don't land like that.
They don't land like that.
I've seen many a swan land on the water, and it's not like that.
All right, Swan Lake, let's go.
Thank you. So, and then he turns around and he sees Layla.
Lala.
Layla?
Lala.
Princess Leia.
Princess Lala.
Princess Lala sitting at a cabin crying because it's beautiful, right?
Gorgeous.
And Char's awkward as fuck. Like, so awkward, dude. It's fucking hilarious.
Not Char, Amuro.
Amuro.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Man, they're all the same person.
But you're right. He is awkward as
He's so
He's
awkward,
so
man.
awkward.
He's so awkward.
It's painful to watch.
Yeah, it's a very awkward exchange. And then you can tell there's a connection there. It doesn't go anywhere. Amuro leaves. Okay, so for some reason now Lala's in charge of the battle. Like, he just puts her in charge.
Yoko.
Yeah,
Yoko
and,
Ono.
and now we're in like phase
Breaking
2.
up the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, some
now-
of the songs sound like Japanese Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we move on to like phase 2 or 3 or 4 of this battle. I don't even know anymore. And Amuro's like goes into beast mode and he's like fighting Char like hand to hand, and he like somehow blows Char's suit's arm right off, and then he kills Lala or whatever. He kills her, right?
Yeah.
And
she gets in the way. She like kind of
Yeah.
like goes to interfere,
Right.
and then yeah.
Right. Which happens a bunch in these movies, right? Someone gets in the way and that's how they die.
Yes.
Anyways, it fucks him up. He's like super sad about it, but also he's so committed to the war that he literally like didn't think twice about firing the shot still. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then like pretty much right after that, the solar ray blasts, which is the Death Star thing.
Death Star.
And decimates the EFF fleet like by half, like destroys them.
And
That was
who else?
Crazy.
Huh?
Who else dies in the solar blast?
I don't know.
Dude, the fucking dictator, the father.
Oh yeah. No, wait. Whose father?
Old man Zabi.
Yeah, old
Oh
man
yeah,
Zabi.
yeah. Okay. See, man, all the like political shit was just. It was way over my head. There was way too much.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so he dies too, I guess. Crazy. And then
Creates the power vacuum with the zombies. That's why Giren steps in, and then
Yeah.
Kycilia.
that kind of does happen throughout these movies. Like each time there's a new person in charge.
Power
right?
vacuum's
Yeah.
got to get filled.
Yeah, that's true. It is a little monster of the wiki, but you know we don't have to dwell on that too much.
Or it's a power vacuum being filled.
Okay, sure. Okay,
Yeah.
sure, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, battle. Char gets a new mobile suit at one point here, right?
Yes.
And it's like kind of dope looking. It doesn't quite look like a Zaku anymore. It
Yeah.
looks like something else now.
Yeah. The Gelgoog.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. And there's like another Char Amuro face to face, head to head. This one now has like an 80s slow dance music kind of vibe to it. They just they're rotating
Keeping
music,
you on
yeah.
your toes, man.
And now everything's blowing up left, right, and center. Mobile suits, ships, everything blowing up. And a bunch of soldiers now are on the ground fighting hand to hand with guns.
Yeah.
Which you have not seen in this movie at all.
No, that's a side of things. No,
Yeah.
you're all up in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now also Artesia or Sayla and Char and Amuro are now all kind of flying around, no suits.
Yep.
Like kind of like chasing each other and yelling at each other. And like arguing over motives and who's right and who's wrong. Amuro gets stabbed, and like this was kind of funny to me because first thing he does is pull it out, which is like don't pull it out.
Yeah.
And then second thing he does is put a patch but on his suit.
Yeah.
But like you're still bleeding in the suit.
Right, but it's more so about the air, I think, like the pressure.
Probably.
the
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Pressurization.
Was he even wearing a helmet? I don't know. You're probably right.
They call them normal suits
Okay.
because they normalize your body pressure.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then Char's trying to get Sayla or Artesia now, I guess we can call her, to like join him, and she's not into it, which is kind of funny because they didn't really play a lot on her confliction I thought that could have
Sure.
been played up more, right? Like she's his sister. She could have been very conflicted, and that could have been a fleshed out element of like, should I join him? Should I not? But really, you kind of knew all along she wasn't going to.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
But again, you get some nuance with her. Like we were talking about the later
Yeah.
series Gundam Origin, where you learn about Char's
Right.
backstory.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Get a lot more on
Okay.
her.
So anyways, another fight that I can't quite remember how it ends, but Char leaves. And now Amuro, for some reason, is like telepathic. And like, it's new type expanding. I get you. But like now it has telepathy. And like he's like hurting basically. And like, I think he's on a ship that like is blown up or something. Something's going on. And he convinces everybody to evacuate and meet on this tiny little spaceship. Right? And they all meet up and it's like a happy little reunion.
Amuro.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're yelling at him. They're like, come on. And he just kind of like.
It takes so long for him to get there.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. And now, like, I guess the takeaway from the end of this movie is like both armies are decimated, but the narrator tells you they're peaceful now.
It's kind of like a ceasefire is called. Kind of like
exactly.
we just fucked each other up. Let's chill.
And that's the fucking end of the movies.
Pretty much.
Finally.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that is the end of your intro
Yeah.
to the Universal Century. The Universal Timeline.
Yeah. So, listeners, viewers, if you made it this far,
Respect.
What are we at right now?
we're at like an hour 50.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Our longest.
it's a big one. But
Yeah.
you know what? I have faith that the Gundam nerds out there
Yeah.
will want this
Sure.
amount of content.
Sure.
Like I personally can speak for myself. Like
Yeah.
more when it comes to Gundam.
Sure.
So
And
hopefully,
Gundam's also like the thing about the UC at the beginning, like you need to power through a lot of tedious, like,
Yeah.
murky waters
Sure.
before you really can like understand it as a whole.
Yeah.
think about this, Mikey.
Yeah.
He liked the space magic shit. Think about how much he's gonna like Unicorn, dude.
Oh, Unicorn's the best. Except I have like an honest trailer version of the Unicorn in my head.
Because you watched it too many times.
Yeah.
That's
You see
definitely
through
why.
the bullshit now. And you're,
Yeah, I'm gonna give it the description instead of you this time.
I love that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. We'll get to that though.
Okay,
When
cool.
we get to it.
After this, though, I guess the next episode.
Yeah.
we're
Next
gonna
episode for
release
you guys, for you Shweebs.
will be Char's counterattack.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
we get into
part
the
2 of
conclusion
this.
of the Char Amuro
Yeah.
Yeah, face off,
face-off,
Totally.
rivalry.
and the elevation of the Gundam kind of franchise to like a whole new height with
Yeah.
that movie. It's a very big movie, so look forward to that one.
Hell yeah.
All right, so
Hell yeah,
what's your ratings?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, we're gonna give it individual per movie or overall trilogy 1 rating.
I honestly don't have an individual per
Okay,
movie.
perfect. Let's
they
do
all
it.
kind of just
Yep, it's
together.
one story, so I'm down with that.
So I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay, that hurts me a little bit, but not as much
sorry.
as I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. I'll even say
I'm actually surprised you gave it that high.
nothing. This is the thing, dude. Like it's a well-made movie. It's clear.
Yeah.
It's clear. It's just some of the elements weren't for me. Like the massive amounts of like I'm a broken record. So much war shit, so much political posturing, so many fucking space battles. Like,
Sure.
I feel like the way this movie ebbs and flows, our conversation today kind of mirrored it. Like, there was a section in the middle there where we were just kind of like explaining battles and explaining military like tactics and
Yeah.
posturing. And that's what this whole film trilogy felt like. That being said, outside of that, there was a lot to enjoy, right? The impact of war on the human beings was great.
Huge
Yeah, that was like very refreshing in a movie
horrors
like
of
this.
war in
Yeah.
anime. It's like crazy.
Totally. And Star Warsy stuff, like you said, the space magic, I was like intrigued by that, especially because by the end of this, I was ready to see where they take it.
Yeah.
Because they really didn't fully flesh it out, right?
No.
They're clear about that. They're like, we're just getting started.
That's right. And I mean, we'll talk on some
Yeah.
Char's counterattack stuff where again
Totally.
they start really taking advantage.
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
that's the thing. Like,
6.5.
I could see like this will probably not happen in my lifetime by any means, but like in the future, if human had to make colonies in space because we fucked up the Earth so much,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
I could see this happening.
Well,
like,
here's the problem. We are going to fuck up the Earth really bad. We're just not going to do it in time to have colonies to go to.
Hold on. Correction. We've already fucked up the
Yeah,
Earth
yeah.
way too badly.
Yeah.
But
and
I
we
think
already don't have colonies to go to.
I think it's cool to think about humans in space evolving differently than humans on Earth.
yeah.
For sure.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, that is
very
cool.
cool theory.
Yeah.
But
All right, Jay. What about you, bud?
My rating will probably 8.5. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Losing 2.5 marks, just a little bit for the age, a little bit for the pacing, but 8.5 is a big score for this. Legendary show, legendary franchise. I can't imagine my life not knowing Gundam.
Sure.
Simple as that.
There you go.
And started it all.
Yeah, my rating's probably right in the middle, 7.5.
Right on.
Yeah, just
That's
because,
better than I thought out of you.
Yeah, so only because how important this is to the canon.
Sure.
Right, as a whole.
Yeah.
So like watching it, like again, I grew up with 90s.
Yeah.
90s Gundam and like
Yeah.
later. So animation wise, obviously, like I wasn't as into it, and pacing and storytelling is a little bit different. But because of how important it is, that's why it gets a 7.5.
Cool. 6.5, 7.5, 8.5.
Yeah.
Bing, bang, boom.
Gundam gets the respect, and we move on to the next chapter.
We'll see you next week as we cover it. Thank you guys for sticking with us for this long haul. I need to fucking stretch my legs.
I know. Real quick, hanger91.bigcartel.com.
Yes.
Get some gear, get some anime stuff. I got all the past episode stuff up there, plus some flash sheets. Good, cool, fun stuff. So check it out.
Yeah. And where else can they find you?
At hanger.91 on Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you guys? Go.
I'm reaching in on Instagram. I don't have shirts or anything like that though.
He has his podcast.
Go to his instead of me and mine.
And I'm Korean Barbecue 86. I've got toys, cats, and more cats.
A million fucking cats.
So many cats.
Thank you guys. Like, subscribe, comments if you feel like you want to do so. It really helps up a lot.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
We love you.
Later, Shweebs.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.